Not a state facility, a state facility, crime scene. April 11, 2021 by Anna von Reitz. Text-to-voice synthesis provided by Vidnami. Coming out of the state of New Hampshire, news that hundreds of children in state of New Hampshire custody were raped, beaten, and abused by the state of New Hampshire employees entrusted with their care, after they had been taken from their families for neglect, abandonment, or because they were orphaned. So both your parents are dead, or one is a helpless drunk and the other is a drug addict, or, well, you get the picture. However it happened, you are a young child, and you are here on Earth without adult caregivers. Nobody wants to take responsibility for you. Or, alternatively, there are people who want to take care of you, but in the self-interested opinion of your state of New Hampshire employees, they are too old, too conservative, too poor, too whatever, to take care of their own family members. So here comes a British commercial corporation or a municipal commercial corporation in the business of providing governmental services, and in you, poor little one, they see a golden goose, yet another opportunity to serve and provide services we never asked them to provide, and, of course, to charge us up the yin-yang for every such service, every step of the way. So they come and they snatch you from wherever you are and from whoever you are with, perhaps a kindly but doddering grandparent or auntie with too many kids of her own and no husband, and they put you in a youth facility, and they treat you like a used nosewipe while charging the faithful taxpayers of New Hampshire $6,000 per day. I am using the average cost of keeping prisoners in penal institutions, because it's pretty much the same service to keep you in that facility, going to therapy sessions that turn out to be gang rape and sodomy sessions for the staff. And this went on for decades, since the 1960s, and nobody stopped it. Pardon me all to hell, but isn't this what went on in the workhouses in England and Scotland and Ireland in the 19th century? And in the Catholic orphanages, sporadically, in various places scattered all over the world? Especially in backwater places like Canada? And if I remember correctly, because I was there, but young, the reasons for shutting down these orphanages and turning them over to the state organizations and the reason for shutting down the workhouses, too, ran something like this. The same explanation being given by Russ Riley, the lead attorney in the case. The systemic, governmental child abuse that occurred was allowed to occur because there wasn't sufficient oversight, and the state was institutionally negligent in their hiring, training, supervision and retention policies, Riley said. It's pretty clear to me that this facility was a magnet for predators. So this tells me in big letters that in all the centuries that unwanted, neglected, and also orphaned children have been a problem, nobody has had the brains and heart to sit down and actually figure out an answer that works? Perhaps we do deserve to die as a species, just be wiped out, once and for all, chalked up as a failed grand experiment. Why don't we begin by inviting all those Christians out there to walk the walk? They've got big mouths, most of them, and have plenty of opinions, but how many who could act as good foster parents step up? I've met exactly one such Christian in my lifetime, a single father with his back to the wall, and 3 kids of his own to raise and support, who nonetheless reached out and saved a 14-year-old girl from being cast out on the streets for having the courage to admit that she thought that maybe she was a lesbian. 1. He accepted her, no matter how hard, unfair, even impossible it seemed, because he was there to catch her as she fell, as her clueless parents shunned her, as the Christian community looked quickly away. But our Father, the living God, saw what this man did, and rewarded him. He doesn't get $6,000 a day for doing the hard work of supporting and parenting a teenager. Nobody pays him a dime for being the hero in her life. His other children slid over and made room for one more. Nobody pays them for giving up the extras they could have had without an extra sister. Unwanted children and unwanted elders have always been and will always be a problem for mankind, so it's well past the era when we first needed to figure out how to treat each other with respect and kindness at every age, how communities can support these most vulnerable and yes, important, members of our local family, because the children, all the children, are our future, and the elders are who we are. It's not just an epic failure on the record of the state of New Hampshire, it's a huge historic, long-running, unforgivable, unresolved, nasty, inexcusable failure on the part of our entire social fabric, and we all bear responsibility for this. How is it going to feel when the creator of these children, who entrusted them to our care, looks at us and says, "You had cause to know that there was need, and you did nothing. You had cause to know or at least suspect that there were terrible things being done in these institutions, but you looked away." Read the whole story here. https://thefreethought-project.com/government-facility-massive-child-sex-torture/ If I were Governor Chris Sununu and my family name was attached to this institution, you'd better believe that there'd be a house cleaning at the Sununu Youth Services Center akin to the wrath of God.